Let's do some sport now, because it was billed as the biggest fight in the history of British boxing. And Carl Froch made it a night to remember, knocking out his opponent George Groves in the 8th round.
Yeah, what a scrap. Now, we'll be hearing from Carl from his home in a moment. But first, our sports correspondent Steve Clamp has this report from Wembley Stadium.
This was the moment when Carl Froch answered any doubters. Knocking his bitter rival George Groves out in the 8th round.
The history of the fight, the way people are going to look back on that in years to come, that was the right hand that finished the job. So yeah, that was the best punch I've thrown in my life.
It was a fitting end to what had been a spectacular event. 80,000 fans had booked their place at the biggest British boxing event since the Second World War. The challenger made his entrance in a London bus, fitting for someone who grew up just up the road from Wembley Stadium. For Carl, though, no gimmicks. He was there for business. He had 2 world title belts to defend. And unlike in the first meeting, Froch boxed clever from the off, and his fast, explosive body shots gave the Londoner a warning of what was to come. But Groves, who felt he was robbed in their first meeting, began making himself known as the fight progressed. This hit in the 7th, rattling the Cobra. The judges had Carl just in front as the fight entered the 8th round. But points wouldn't decide this. A moment of class would end it. A clever left distracting Groves, while Carl launched with his right.
I got complacent for a split second and paid the price. It's world-class boxing. The fans, I hope they stick with me. I hope they carry on supporting me, and I'll certainly do them proud as quickly as possible.
Groves with no complaints this time. Carl's trainer, Rob McCracken, who's from Birmingham, summed up why Carl had won again.
It was pretty rapid when he got anywhere near George with the body punching. I think that slowed George down a little bit, but Carl Froch is a tremendous fighter.
Every fight that I go to watch him, that they're all pretty big, but that one I know meant so much to him, so I couldn't be prouder.
Carl Froch making his family and the Midlands proud. Carl Froch, world champion.
Well, what a night for Carl and for our sports correspondent, Steve Clamp, who was also there.
Yes, this afternoon, Steve went over to Carl's house in Nottingham to talk about the fight and the future.
Well, here he is, Carl. A few knocks, but to be honest, you're not feeling too bad, are you, today?
No, not at all. A couple of superficial wounds, black eye. You get that when you misbehave yourself at school, don't you, these days? You know, well, you shouldn't do, actually. I shouldn't say that. But no, nothing really. Yeah. I'm in good shape, to be honest. Feeling great. Them gloves that you wear when you box professional, you know, they're very small. If you take a couple of little jabs, you get marked up. That's the sport I'm in. But now I'm in good shape. I'm in good nick. Physically, I feel great. No injuries. My hands are fine. My arms, my back, my neck. Everything's good. But more than that, you know, I got the win that I so desperately needed in terms of putting this whole George Groves, I don't even need to say that name anymore. It just seems lovely. I woke up this morning actually and thought, what day is it? Because I got Saturday, Sunday off. Is it Sunday? Is it Saturday? Yeah. Then the realisation that the fight's actually done and dusted and out the way hit me, and I was so happy. I'm just in such a good place, and I just feel so happy. I'm relaxing. I'm smiling. I'm just looking forward to a really, really good summer with my family.
So just briefly, you've mentioned the word retirement in your press conference, but then you mentioned Vegas. We saw Sakio turn up at your press conference, put the WBC belt there. Kessler's been tweeting he'd like another match. Any idea yet what you'll do?
Leave me alone. Give me a break. Everyone wants a piece of the Cobra. You know, they all want to jump in there with me because they know it's the best way they're going to get paid a good amount of money, because I'm at the top of my game. So I'm not going to make any harsh decisions or rational decisions. I'm just going to have a nice break with my family over the summer, and then a couple of long conversations with Eddie Hearn and my coach Rob McCracken, and more importantly my family, Rachael, the kids, my mum, and then take it from there. But at the minute I'm sort of 50-50. What am I going to do? I'm just going to leave it on ice for now, leave everybody guessing.
All right, mate, well, well done. A great victory. I loved the evening. Certainly, I've spoken to Carl's family. They wouldn't mind a trip to Vegas. I know an ITV reporter who wouldn't mind a trip to Vegas. We'll keep you posted on it. Plenty more on the website, but from Carl and me. Bye-bye.
He's angling for a trip there, Steve,
I think he certainly is, yeah. Anyway,
Somebody who's probably not standing, but sitting down and taking it easy now. And I don't even mean Colin, because it's time for sport, and he's with Carl.
Indeed, yes. It's all about Team Froch at the moment, isn't it? The man himself is here. This is his home. This is where he chills out after being part of the biggest British fight possibly ever. Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people, a real grudge match, and the right hand that knocked out George Groves in that grudge match is right there. It was incredible, Carl Froch. Have you quite absorbed what you were part of?
I wake up and I think, I'm fighting, what day is it? Have I got a day off? And I think, oh, I've done it, it's all over. And I do, that reality hits me in the morning. I've only had one decent night's sleep. Just another day at the office, it was just very busy. I mean, Wembley Stadium, 80,000, phenomenal. I think it's going to take a bit longer than a couple of days to sink in, but I am very, very happy.
Well, let's reflect on ourselves. We've got a present, actually. That's the fight there on DVD, so you can reflect on it. Yeah, have a look at that. And we'll have more from Carl in just a second. For the rest of us, though, let's relive it, shall we? Because Angela Rafferty was at Wembley.
Goes with a right to the body once more, gets picked off with a shot to the head as he's ducking in low, and then finds a brilliant right arm. Down goes George Groves. It's all over, I think.
One punch worthy of a world champion that settled this feud once and for all.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Wembley was simply electric as Froch and Groves finally came face to face. The time for talking done, down to unfinished business.
Look at Groves as well. Here we go.
With so much at stake, little wonder the opening rounds were cagey. No real clue of what was to come. Round 8 started slowly but finished in breathtaking style. A stunning finale from the world champion and his devastating right hook.
Groves has been knocked out!
So he has done it successfully, defended those world titles and finally settled those scores with George Groves. He promised to deliver and did it in some style here in front of 80,000 at Wembley Stadium.
That's the biggest fight in my life. That's the biggest occasion I've ever been involved in boxing-wise, and anybody will ever probably be involved in the next 20 years. So this night means everything to me in terms of my boxing career. My kids are more important than anything. So I can't wait to tell my kids and show my kids what I did tonight.
What he did was demolish Groves and prove his doubters wrong. His latest world title defence, his most satisfying yet.
I was going to have to listen to George Groves, this George Groves saga, for the rest of my life if I never gave him the rematch. So I've given him the rematch and I gave him the pasting that he deserved, unfortunately. Fortunately, he's in good health, he's OK. But that's what he had that coming to him tonight, and he got it.
It was absolutely amazing. That punch, and he was gone, wasn't he? Amazing. Yeah.
The best result, the best result. You knocked him out. That's what we knew you'd do. Well done, son.
A job well done. Time now for the people he does it all for.
They're my family, and, you know, they just mean the world to me. I'd give all this up, all this fame and fortune, I'd give it all up for them. I really would. But luckily, I ain't got to.
I don't know how you cope with this, Carol, to be honest. You must have been on tenterhooks, but we got the right result.
Oh, yeah, exactly what we wanted. But, yeah, beforehand, it was like the world's on my shoulders. Probably why they call it boxing for the world title. So happy, I'm so pleased. So proud.
Was that a proposal for Rachael in there?
It was sort of, wasn't it? I sort of went down to tie my lace, and it wasn't official, but I had a few words with her, and I think I'm going to marry Rachael. I obviously need a ring, so...
Ring shopping for you next.
Get down Argos.
He got down on one knee and said, Rachael, I haven't got a ring, but will you marry me? OK, yeah.
You can't say no in front of 80,000, can you?
Exactly, no.
Little wonder he called it the greatest night of his life, as the boxing world was witness to a world champion at his best.
Likes, I reckon. Back with him in a second. So let's talk to another man who puts his body on the line in full then, Carl Froch. I suppose the big question for everyone is, are you going to be putting your body on the line again in the boxing ring?
I'm sort of 50-50 if I'm totally honest with what to do. It's going to have to be something really big to draw me, you know, draw some motivation out of myself to get up for the camp, because you know, I'm not a young athlete, but I'm still young enough to do what I need to do. I've proven that. I boxed somebody 10 years my junior, and I was out boxing him for the first part of the fight, then I wiped him out. So I'm not 46, I'm 36, but I'm towards the end of my career. I've been a professional 12 years. I've been boxing since I was 10 years old. So, you know, I need to be drawn in by something big, and what's going to be bigger than the Wembley Stadium, the National Stadium, is, I think, the only thing that ticks a box for me, something I've not done in my career, and what my heroes before me have done, is boxing Las Vegas.
Your Nottingham public would follow you, you know that, don't you?
I know, I think they're all looking forward to a trip stateside to Las Vegas as well. It's an excuse to get away as well.
What have you made of the support you've had from all around you? I was at your former club and they're just so well behind you.
Yeah, the support's phenomenal. I mean, they're so loyal and they travel, you know, they spend their hard-earned money to come and support me and they genuinely enjoy it, and I like to think that I entertain them and give them value because, you know, I put it all on the line. I don't turn up half-cocked and give half a performance. I make sure that when I'm in there and I leave everything in the ring, heart, soul, blood, sweat and tears if necessary.
You don't sound, you say you're 50-50, you don't sound like a man to me who's ready to walk away from this.
I love the game so much. I love every aspect of the game. I love the training. It's hard. You know, it can be brutal at times. I put my body through it time and time again. But when I've had a couple of weeks off, I know what my mind's like. I've got a bag hanging in my garage and I just come down in the morning sometimes, put my gloves on and just punch away at the bag. And I go out for a run when I don't need to. I enjoy training, I enjoy being in good shape, I enjoy the physicalities of it all, and then I enjoy fight night like I enjoyed it the other night. I mean, that was massive. A lot of people would be scared of doing that and worried about the size of it. The bigger the better for me. So, you know, if I do walk away from the game, I know I'm going to miss it. So while I can do it, I probably will, but it's got to be something big. We'll see.
Your public would love to see that. Carl, thank you very much for joining us. A true champion, a true warrior, Carl Froch.
Oh, indeed, Colin. Vegas Day. Heard it here.